Electricity is one of our most faithful servants. It gives us light. It starts our cars, has unlimited in aviation, circle the globe with entertainment. It cooks and refrigerates our food. These represent few of the innumerable applications of electricity. Electricity at work. But what is electricity, and where does it come from? To answer these questions, let's look in on the world of electrons.
Industrial Revolution, we find ourselves locked into the same class system that began the Industrial Revolution. Citizen has become consumer, and his focus has become the accumulation of material wealth. As our energy consumption increases daily, so too does global warming. Seeing that the federal government has failed to act, we must now look to state and local government for solutions.
Brendan O'Connor from Australia.
Thank you.
I've got a question about global warming. What is your plan?
Good. First of all, the globe is warming. The fundamental debate, is it man-made or natural?
The Bush administration intends to do as little as it can. Finally, one statement in its annual address to the nation, he mentioned climate change, and that's it. And nothing he's proposed, of course, it's all been voluntary, and nothing he's proposed would have any real impact on climate change. We may be addicted to oil, as he said, but he's doing nothing to change that addiction. If anything, he's institutionalizing it.
With this Congress re-elected, we'll have a company country with company housing, company stores, company unions, company discrimination. We'll have unemployment at home, and ultimately, war abroad.
Pennsylvania produces about 55% of its electricity right now from coal-fired power plants. Coal-fired power plants are the #1 culprit, the #1 source of global warming pollution in the entire country. And because Pennsylvania has so many of them, it's a big reason why we actually produce more global warming pollution than every other state besides Texas and California. There are actually over 1,800 people die prematurely in Pennsylvania each year from power plant pollution alone. And then that's to say nothing of the asthma attacks and the hospital admissions and the missed school days. Just really incredible numbers when you look at how much pollution is being produced from our coal-fired power plants and then the public health impacts from that.
Well, we know at this point that oil production is about to peak globally. It peaked in the United States in 1970, which means half of all the oil is gone and we're on the downslope of the remaining supply. Renewable energy offers a sustainable future as far as energy is concerned, because we know the sun's going to sit there in the sky and last for another 4.5 or 5 billion years, whereas even the coal, which we have huge quantities of yet on Earth, ultimately that is a fossil fuel that will be depleted. And if we don't take full advantage of natural forces like the wind, the sun, low-head hydro, which is small dams to produce electricity, then we probably will not be able to maintain anything near our lifestyle. I happen to believe that lifestyles are going to have to change at any rate, but renewable energy offers the best alternative for maintaining them in anywhere near the style we've become accustomed.
So, Mr. Mayor, on behalf of the city government, staff, and officials, I'd like to present to you the local action plan for climate change.
Now, over the years, we really have paid an awful lot of attention to many environmental issues. And I can tell you, when we were working on the Comcast Tower and trying to make it possible for it to happen, everyone was absolutely dedicated and committed to work with the owners, Comcast, to make it a green building. And I will tell you, if we ever have casinos on the waterfront, they should be green buildings right down on our waterfront. Now, there are some people who are not all that crazy about casinos. I actually like the money. We need the money. We need the tax reduction. We need all the jobs. We need the money. But there would be no excuse for us to allow those facilities to be built on our waterfront and not be green buildings and not be done in a way that respects the environment, and that so that they become a part of our city and in a way that allows us to appreciate the water, to appreciate the revenue, and to appreciate them as an amenity, but also respect the environment and respect the things that are important to us in the city of Philadelphia.
If it was going to require economic growth in order to solve the problem, then that's not going to solve the problem, because economic growth is what's causing the environmental problems. And we grow against those environmental constraints and so on. So what that says is that what we've been used to in the modern period as this economy of thriving in abundance. I mean, look around. That's not sustainable itself, and something else has got to be found. But also means that the habits of mind that we got in those economies has got to change, because the can-do attitudes of people who want to create jobs, or all the catchphrases. There's about 3 of them, right? And it's an election year, so that you hear all 3 of them all the time. And those catchphrases don't mean anything under the conditions that we're talking about.
I'm Patrick McDonald from Onion Flats, and I own Onion Flats with my brother Tim. We started it in the mid-90s, and we just completed this space here called Rag Flats. It's an environmental, sustainable community of 11 homes.
So what we have here, there's a number of different features in Rag Flats. There's the rainwater reclamation system. We wanted to use as much as we could. Inside the homes, all the floors are heated by radiant style heating with water, hydronic heating. Very high efficiency hydronic heating. And some of the other features outside are this, for instance. We have a green roof company within JIG Inc., J-I-G, and we build green roofs for ourselves. We also design homes and green roofs for other entities. If you come with me, we could go up the stairs here, and I'll give you an idea of the solar photovoltaic system that we have. So here high above Fishtown is a 30 kilowatt solar system, photovoltaics. Every system goes to every house. So there's 11 systems, 11 houses. They all individually are powered through the sun. Over to the right, you'll see where they transfer the energy from direct current to alternating current so it can be used in the houses. And again, all the roofs are used above the rag factory and the pavilion, but all of the houses are kept for personal use on roof decks above with the city view. Okay, in Philadelphia we have a net metering system that has 2 meters. One is a incoming meter and one is an outgoing meter. So the sun generates the energy, but at nighttime what do? You either store the energy or you keep it, and you either store the energy or you send it back to the grid and then buy it from the grid. In this application, we're actually making the energy, giving it back to the local distributor, and then we're buying it back at night for the same price. So all day long the meter is going backwards, and then at night the meter goes forward and you're making up for the energy that you made all day. PECO, Philadelphia Electric Company, is one of the few companies in the country that actually has 2 meters. Most of the other cities and communities around the country have 1 meter, and it just basically turns backwards during the day and forward at night. It's a lot lower cost, and I'm hoping that eventually PECO goes that route and changes into a single meter application.
We encourage renewables in a number of ways. 2% of the generation that Exelon produces comes from renewables, and that's a hydroelectric development, a pump storage facility, as well as some landfill gas projects that we own here in Pennsylvania. In addition to that, we buy wind energy from wind producers that are located in Pennsylvania as well as West Virginia. We also buy a certain amount of the electricity from, or 10% of the electricity in the building that we're currently sitting in at 2301 Market Street from renewables.
My name's Dave, and I'm with the Energy Cooperative. The Energy Cooperative is a nonprofit, member-owned co-op. We're based right here in Center City, Philadelphia. And we started out in 1979 as a heating oil co-op, just a way for our members to help one another save money on their heating oil bills. Since then, we've become a PUC-licensed electricity supplier. We're selling 100% Green E certified renewable electricity, which nobody else in the area is doing anything like that right now. And our goal there is to stay available and to make sure that there is an available choice for electricity consumers, especially a renewable choice. We also are involved in selling bioheating oil and selling biodiesel for fleets. So if a consumer wants to buy renewable electricity, we are probably the best option in this region because we're selling 100% renewable electricity. Green E is a voluntary certification program. It's sort of like a good housekeeping seal of approval for renewables, a way for you to know when you see the Green E logo that the product you're buying has undergone the rigorous certification standards for Green E. So we're very proud of that certification. And when we say 100% renewable electricity, we mean diverse local renewable electricity. It's coming from wind farms right here in the region. It's coming from solar power that comes from PV systems that 53 of our members own on their properties and sell to us. And it's coming from landfill gas. Landfill gas has a sort of nasty sounding connotation to it, but it actually is I assure you, it's a renewable form of energy. And basically, you have to get rid of this nasty stuff that's rotting in a landfill. And you might as well stick a turbine on it to generate electricity. That comprises the majority of our electricity product. So we put the three things together to show that right here in this region, it's feasible to do 100% renewable electricity. If a consumer wanted to switch their service to us, they would continue to pay their bill through PECO like they otherwise normally would, but they would see two of the broken down charges on their PECO bill, specifically the generation and transmission charges, attributed to us instead of to PECO. And one other thing about us is that right now for residential electricity there is a significant cost increase if you go from regular PICO electricity to us. The reason for that really is that it's not that our prices are ridiculously high. PICOs are actually ridiculously low due to rate caps. And PICO is not allowed to raise their prices past a certain point until the end of 2010. Unfortunately, we have to reflect the wholesale electricity market, which means that we do have to sell it at a significant cost increase. But we are a nonprofit and we are owned by our members, and that's something that really sets us apart.